All right. Welcome back to the Week 12 post-game edition for the Philadelphia Eagles. My name is Marcos Konenik Roan, and we are coming to you off of a 37-20 victory against the Los Angeles Rams on the road. This is the best game of the year. The most consistent, well-done job that I've seen this team play all season long. It was a culmination of leaning into our strengths and having everything work out the way it should this week. And it was in full display, and I want to talk about some good things, a lot of good things that happened here, but I wanted to address first and foremost that Brandon Graham, Eagles' longtime defensive end, has been hurt. He's torn his triceps and he will now be out for the season. And what that means is that could potentially be his last game. He did announce earlier in the offseason that he was planning on retiring after this season, but given how well he was playing during the season, there was conversations that he might come back, but a torn tricep at his age, it leaves a lot of, to wonder if that will actually end up being the result, if that was his last game in a Philadelphia Eagle uniform. And listen, if that was the case, he did a really good job. So, he went out executing and he went out making plays. And that's all you could really ask for. And hopefully, the Eagles can respond as a team and hopefully maybe just honor him the rest of the way by playing even better down the stretch. But that was a huge hit. And obviously Slay left in this game. He had a concussion after taking a big hit trying to make a tackle. So we got some guys dinged up today. But it was the guys who continue to just step up and play well and help this team surge. On the offensive side, it was A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. A.J. Brown had another 100-yard game, and Saquon Barkley had an all-time game. Best game I've ever seen from a Philadelphia Eagle running back. He had the ninth most rushing yards in a game all time in NFL history with 255 off of 26 attempts. He was averaging 9.8 yards a carry, had two separate 70-yard touchdown runs. There's not much more I can say about Saquon that I haven't already said. Just the most valuable addition to this team. He is the most valuable player. He is what makes this team go. He is what makes this team even more special than what it was. He was the missing piece. And Saquon's impact was felt throughout the course of the game. He was running. He was getting whatever he wanted. The offensive line was just imposing their will. And they were making LA's life a nightmare. We were holding time of possession. It was really just one-sided. And not to mention, we were extremely efficient. We were 9 of 15 on third down, and we only punted once, and we had 24 first downs. We did a really good job. We had 481 total yards, and when you're averaging 7 yards a play and just really able to bleed clock and extend possessions, we were just in full control. And at first, it was, as usual, kind of rocky. We were down 7-3. The offense was trying to find a rhythm. We really weren't finishing drives the way we should, and it just took. Then Collinsworth brought it up on the broadcast. It's like they're just feeling you guys out, but I promise you, they know Saquon Barkley's going to make a play or AJ Brown's going to make a play. And Saquon's first 70-yard run was unbelievable, and you're just like, well, this gave us the opportunity to really just put our foot on the pedal and just keep going. And this was just an unbelievable offensive performance. And Saquon too, with 300 total scrimmage yards, it's just that is special and rare to be able to see a game like that. And I saw this tweet from Albert Breer that says, on the season, Eagles running back Saquon Barkley is up to 1,649 yards rushing from scrimmage. The NFL record is 2,509 yards by former running back from the Tennessee Titans, Chris Johnson, in 2009. Barkley's 860 yards away with 6 games left. He needs to average 143 yards a game to pass Chris Johnson, but right now he's averaging 149.9 yards a game as we speak, so he is on pace to break that record. Now, it's going to be pretty hard to break that record. He's been having extremely good breakout games, and as the season, with this upcoming opponents, who knows what the game situation is going to call for. It's going to be really cool if he does something like that and breaks the NFL record for most total scrimmage yards or rushing yards in a season. He has all that going for him, and Saquon just continues to be incredible. So That was one great thing. And then on the flip side of thing, the whole defense did another spectacular job. They held them to 20, but it was really 13. They had a garbage time touchdown at the end there, but they still finished with only 290 total yards of offense. And that's the 7th time this season. This is every single game in the 7-game win streak. We've held opponents to 300 yards or less. And this is the first time the Eagles have done that since 2008. So they're going on a defensive run that is legit and isn't fluky. They've been playing some consistent offenses now. They played the Bengals, they played the Commanders, they played the Rams. And the Rams, mind you, this was a great test in the sense that this was a hot team. And this team had won 4 out of the 5 past 5 games that they've played recently. And so, yeah, their record right now says 5-6, but they were one of the hottest teams in the NFL for the past few weeks. So the Eagles to really just stifle them. I mean, Puka Nacua had a wonderful game. He popped off, but Cooper Kupp only had 60 yards. They were trying to get him, but they weren't really generating too many explosive plays, and that's exactly what the Eagles defense was supposed to do. And they did a really good job with that today. So defensively, I was really proud of all the guys for generating pressure on Stafford and just staying with it, forcing turnovers, and just doing a good job of staying in front of their guys and finishing plays. They sacked Matt Stafford 5 times, and both teams stayed pretty clean. They each had 4 penalties, but this was just a great overall team performance. There wasn't an issue on any side of the ball. Everyone did their job, and it just led to a blowout on the road. And this is our last major road trip. Now we get to go back home. We go to Baltimore next week, and that's going to be a huge game, but they're still here in LA. They're playing in SoFi tomorrow night against the Chargers. So the Eagles get that extra day advantage. So depending on how tough tomorrow night game is, it'll be interesting to see how the Ravens are looking going into this matchup. The Eagles are kind of asserting themselves, and these next stretch of games, they're playing teams that are very similar to them in play style. The Eagles are a ground and pound team, run and gun. They're able to just chip away with big runs, and they're able to just generate explosive plays off of the run game alone. And then they still have the threat of throwing the ball over the top. So they're playing consistent. Jalen's not turning the ball over. When he's just guiding this offense along, they're going to explode for points. That's what was holding us back, was the interceptions, the turnovers, and the lack thereof on the defensive side. Now that's all just coming together, and we're really clicking. So this stretch run, we're still chasing the Lions on the 1 seed, but this was exactly the kind of win we needed against a common opponent. We couldn't afford to lose this game, and we really just stepped up and flexed our muscles and really just showed that, hey, we are a true balanced contender, and we can beat you any way we want. And offensively and defensively, we're confident on both sides, and we're gonna come into this playoffs as one of the teams you do not want to face. And if it's in Philly, you're gonna have a really, really tough time. So overall, I was extremely proud of just like how well, how much of a team win this was, how every facet of the game played well, no issues around there. Everyone played a really clean game, and they just did their job, and we produced, and Saquon exploded, and we just had special players making the plays that makes this team elite. So my game balls today, I'm going to go to Saquon Barkley first and foremost. Again, I've talked about him at length here in this post game. He's unbelievable. Just a one-of-a-kind game, a one-of-a-kind season. And, with the way this team is going up right now, they're riding on Saquon. He is carrying this team on his shoulders, and he's making it look really, really easy. So he's in the perfect system. We love to have him, and he deserves every game ball from here on out because he's just doing it every single game and has been the most consistent player on this team. So shout out to Saquon. And then my second game ball is going to go to Brandon Graham. Listen, Brandon Graham, I have so many good things to say about him. He was the hero who won us the Super Bowl. And it's sad that he had to get hurt like this when he was still playing extremely effectively. And he made plays in this game too. So he did a good job, and he deserves a game ball on the way out. He did all we could ask and then more, given the state of our rotation this year. He's stepped in, and it's tough to see him go. So hopefully they can continue and build, even though they suffered a huge loss like that. But my final game ball will probably go to A.J. Brown because he stood out in this game by creating explosive plays for us as well. We were just grooving. When it wasn't Saquon, it was A.J. And A.J. and Jalen were on the same page today. And he made a tough touchdown catch. A.J. Brown just continues to just be a stabilizing force, and we needed him today, especially when Devontae was out. So this was a pretty easy ball game because the special players really stood out in this one. But overall, I was so proud of everybody. This defense looked insane, and they handled a tough matchup very, very well. And our offense just continues to improve each and every week and improve the standard. And this is a team that can win the Super Bowl. If they play like this, we can beat anybody in the league. So this was the kind of showing we've been hoping and building up towards all year. And we can add another dominant win like this against a solid team to our resume going into what's going to be a very tough playoff push. But listen, this is a physical team, and this style of football wins games. These guys have been so consistent all year, and they are continuing to be the more physical team. So they can build off of that. The sky's the limit for this team. So with that being said, I'll push on. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week with Ben. I'm really excited for it. But my name is Marcus Conan Negron. You can hit us up at behindthebackpod13@gmail.com. Hit us up on any of our social medias. The links are down in the descriptions below. Please give us a like, subscribe, rate, follow. Any comments, we appreciate all the comments we get, all the, appreciation, the love that you guys have shown us along our journey. We appreciate you guys so much. I'm always happy to talk after an Eagles win. So this was a win that makes me even more confident moving forward. So we'll definitely see what happens. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace. Fly, Eagles, fly.